Journey I was about to say podcast. This isn't a podcast. This is YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Welcome to a VO's Journey. My name is Anthony Pica. This show is all about helping the new and upcoming voiceover artists grow their business and sidestep all of the crazy things that I seem to step on. Boy, that's a great way to start the show. Let's say the wrong thing. But anyways, welcome to the show. It's good to have you. And, I think we got a good episode for you today. Really, some things that have been knocking around in my head. And I wanted to kind of dive in with it with you. And it's this idea, what I want to speak to you today about doubling down and pushing forward. Okay. I work with a lot of people. I'm very fortunate to work with a lot of amazing voiceover artists, just a lot of amazing people. And a lot of times, we live in this constant state of questioning ourselves. We fight, whether we fight for, work, whether we fight for our relationships, whether we fight for, what's happening in our communities or our country. We're always fighting. Some things good, some things bad, but we're always fighting. And the idea that we push ourselves so hard, I think, is a great idea. But the challenge we run into is that moment that comes when we feel defeated, when we feel tired and we feel exhausted. We feel like, I've auditioned so much. I've put out so much stuff. I've done so much work. I've tried so many things. I've read so many things. I've watched so many videos. I've auditioned so many times on voices.com or Voice123. I've put up all the gigs that Anthony's told me to on Fiverr. I've sent so many proposals on Upwork, I don't even want to hear the word proposal again. You've done all of these things. I've tweeted so many times, I can't stand it anymore. All right. And we begin to feel defeated. And the difference, and I'm here to tell you this today. When that happens, I want you to know two things. One, you're not alone. Many people feel defeated during this time of trying to get work and trying to push themselves to the next level. But when we all feel defeated, it is the people who push forward that win. It's as simple as that. When we all arrive at a place where we are defeated, it's the people who push forward and keep going and keep fighting that win. This has been proven throughout history. It's been proven throughout war, in business, and life, and religion. It's been proven. We can never give up. We must continue to push ourselves forward, even in our worst times that we find ourselves in. Now, I know this is kind of deep, and I wanted to talk to you briefly about this today because I think it's very pertinent, especially us going into summer. Summer can be good for some. It can be really bad for others, right? We know as voiceover artists, summer can be slow. Things are stranger than normal, as you would say, because everything is stranger than normal right now, but meaning that communication is so vital. So I think a lot of us are seeing an uptick somewhat in business, or at least business available for many different reasons. But the fact of the matter is, we have to keep pushing ourselves. We have to double down, put our nose to the grindstone, and keep pushing forward. In the face of you not knowing what to do, in the face of you feeling defeated, in the face of you tried everything and nothing seems to work, you must push forward. It's the moment when you feel like you're at your worst that the sunshine is just a little bit away, right? They say, what? Night is darkest before the sunrise. I want to tell you that you can do it. You can push yourself forward. You can keep going. You can keep trying, and you will be successful. Don't listen to people tell you you can't do it. Don't listen to people tell you you're not good enough. Don't listen to people tell you you're fail. Okay? Hard work beats talent that hardly works every single time. Every time. You can do it. Doesn't matter what equipment you have. I mean, if you want to strip away all of the talk about everything, this is what I firmly believe. You are the most amazing thing that has ever been created, and you can do it. You can get there. But the price that you have to pay is your willingness to cross the canyon when the bridge has been destroyed, when everyone turns around and runs away. You've got to find a way to cross it. And everything is on the other side. Everything is there waiting for you. You find a way to cross it. It will be there. But you cannot turn back. You cannot turn back. Everything's very metaphorical today. I'm in one of those moods, so I apologize, but I hope someone sees this today, and I hope it helps someone who's feeling down, feeling defeated, feeling like they've tried everything, nothing's working, and keep going. Don't stop. Remember, when you're at the worst points of your life, when things seem to be against you and you seem to be defeated, those who move forward win. Those who turn around, they lose. Well, on that note, do you have any questions? Let's see who's actually stuck around and been like, what in the world are you talking about today, man? Had to get it off my chest and hopefully help some people. So let's see. We got Paul from Tennessee. Hello, my friend. It's good to see you. Don, what's up, Don? We got Out of Bounds. What's up? We've got a Facebook user. It's good to have you. Scott, what's up, my man? Thank you. We've got Curse Leisure. What's up? Never give up. Absolutely. Paul says preach. Ozzy, what's up, my man? Joe, it's good to have you. Listen, I want to keep it short today. I don't want to drag on the message because I think it, in its simplest form, it's what I believe, and I believe with all fiber of my being. Okay? This has taken me a lifetime to articulate, but not to feel inside, if that makes sense. And I hope that it helps. I hope it helps you. All right, let's read a couple more. Zach, you were so right. I was feeling defeated a little while ago, so I kept pushing on, and now I'm overwhelmed. Amen to that, my friend. Let's see. Oh, my goodness. I'm so sorry. I'm going to mess up your name. Is it Adnan? How to improve an accent for one who isn't a native speaker. Thank you for all of the information. That's wonderful. So I would actually say, and I don't know, what accent. I assume you're talking about an American accent, or are you talking about a British accent? I'm not exactly sure which accent you're talking about, but I can tell you this, depending, wherever you are, your accent, or are you talking about just speaking English in general? I'm not sure, and I apologize. So maybe if you let me know exactly what you're trying to do. But I was going to say, my heart inside tells me, be proud of who you are. Go after, the things that, you can go after. And as you go along and you become successful in your own right, it never hurts to continuously educate yourself and work with dialect coaches and things of that nature. But I'm not sure exactly which one you're talking about, like which accent or anything like that. But, like I said, in my gut, I always first and foremost tell people and believe in you being who you are. and be proud of that and go for it. And don't, now I know you're not probably saying you're not proud of who you are, but the accent thing, I don't want you to be confused, meaning that, you've got to have an accent to be successful. You know what I mean? Like a different accent. I don't know if that's what you're trying to say, but maybe if you give me some more information, I'll be able to help out. But I hope that helps you. Let's see. Let's see. Ozzy says, oh, thank you, Joe. Ozzy says, if I put a Zoom 5 in my recording booth because I don't want to bring my laptop with me and the recording booth, how would that affect my sound? Well, look, the Zoom 5 runs on batteries, right? So it's super quiet. And, you're not going to have any noise in there if you're not, if the computer was the source of your noise, or speakers, because you can hook up headphones to your H5. I think the only difference is that, you just have to get used to recording with an H5, hitting the record button, realizing that once you hit that record button, you pretty much need to just let it record, and you record everything. If you make a mistake, just, pause, get a clicker, do something, and then record again instead of hitting the stop and start button on the record, because every time you do that, it creates a separate file for you. So, then you just got to get used to moving, the mini SD card over to your computer, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't think there's anything wrong with it, and some people do that, absolutely. I personally like to run a longer cable so that it records automatically on my computer, eliminating that step, but not everybody's in that position, so it would work just fine, absolutely. Let's see. Facebook user, hey guys. Hey Anthony, what's up? Paul, love this today. Thank you, Paul. Do you find that multi-purpose rooms have less reverb if you sit instead of stand? Multi-purpose rooms. Well, I can tell you this, depending on what the dimensions of the room are, where you are in the room, what things are in the room, all makes a difference on whether you sit, stand, what direction you face, right? Because it determines, where the frequencies come out of your mouth and the sound waves, and they're hitting, the walls and things and bouncing off. So absolutely, it does make a difference in sometimes when you sit and stand, but it's hard to determine that it's all going to be based on the room you're in. So really, you got to have to listen and figure out your own particular room. I try to, whenever I do set up a space, to treat as much of the space as humanly possible so I don't have to worry about sitting or standing, But good question. Let's see. Never heard of the canyon analogy before, but I can work with that, and there are no hills in Florida. That's good. I made it up, Famicom. I made up the canyon analogy, but, I mean, it makes complete sense, so... Voiceover Angela, hey guys, Ronimer, cheers, what's up, out of bounds, saying hello to Angela, let's see, Michael, thanks for all your videos and tips, I'm looking to make VO a solid side hustle, awesome, I like my day job a lot, that's awesome, and are there any pieces of advice that you would give for someone like me? Absolutely, just, and I know it's so funny because people would say this too, but the reality is what I said earlier. Don't give up. You're going to be frustrated. You're going to hear so many people telling you so many things about what not to do and what to do. Follow your own star. Make your own decisions. Learn as much as you can. But in the end, know that you are building your life, not someone else's life. So take what people say with a grain of salt, but also take it and listen and dissect it and move forward. Start where you are, just start, and push yourself to keep getting better. All right? So I hope that helps. Logistically, there's so many things. You can find anything you want to know about how to set up every piece of equipment, every microphone. I mean, there's everything you want on YouTube. In the end, I find that it's less of the technical stuff, and it's more of what's in your heart. You know what I mean? It's your heart and your head. It more boils down to the measure of your resolve, right? What is the measure of your resolve? Is it low or is it high? It's cool, man. Welcome to the VO game, brother. I wish you the best. Let's see. Facebook user, hey, Ozzy, thanks. That is my plan. Awesome. Let's see. Add 9. Firstly, thanks. Add a 9. Sorry again. Let's see. Firstly, thanks. While acting, I figure out that I mixed the accents, American, British. Can I practice both or just focusing on one accent and improve it? Well, I mean, you do whatever you want to do. Okay. Now, I always think that personally, if there's, it's easier to tackle one thing at a time if you can than having to tackle multiple things. So if you're trying to learn an American accent, you probably should focus on learning an American accent. But, if you've learned both of them, I can tell you there is a place, it can be called a transatlantic accent. There's many accents where American and British accents, especially now. Now, I would say the new type of Cockney accent, which is not necessarily Cockney anymore, it's more urban, and they call it in the UK now, right? Of style of talking, like Adele and different things like that, right? You're gonna have different, a mix. Everything's mixing together, which is fine. Your job is just to stay on top of it as a voice actor, as an actor. So I would usually pick one to focus on, but know that sometimes they overlap. And, so the best thing I could recommend is find a good dialect coach. I don't have one for you because I'm not currently working on that, but, you could do some searches and see if you can find some dialect coaches. And if anybody knows any, they can post them here. Let's see. Hey there. Thanks. I lost my full-time job 4 years, of 4 years due to COVID. Sorry, man. And have been acting and working with VO part-time, looking to ramp up, have been listening to your podcast. Thank you for that. Absolutely. Absolutely. And, sorry about your job. I know, some of the people I coach too, just recently lost their job within the last week as well. And listen, I mean, this is your opportunity. This is it. This is your moment to push forward, to double down and push forward. Right? Be like the Greeks and burn the ships. I mean, the ships have already been burnt for you, right? Because they released you from your job. But, no turning back. There's power in the decision, right? I talked about that in another video, right? There's power in a decision. When you've made a decision, and I mean made a decision, I mean, there is no question in your mind, I'm going to do this. The earth, the universe, it helps you accomplish your goal. Making that decision is a sheer act of will, right? Willing the universe, even though we don't view it that way. If you think about it, it is, because when you decide something, right? And I love to quote this again from Will Smith. When you decide something, because I love what he said about once you make a decision, it's like it's already done. The rest of the world just has to catch up with you. All right? Make that decision. You can do it. World is here for your taking, my friend. Thanks. I needed to hear that. Don't give up. I've been down lately. I'll keep plugging away. Absolutely, Heath. Don't ever give up. Ever. Frank, hi, Anthony. Do you have any breathing techniques while recording? I feel I'm not breathing correctly and get winded easy. Yes, Frank, a lot of times that has to do with you're not comfortable as a narrator yet. I talked about this yesterday. It's hard. I went through this for a couple of years, and it wasn't until I really started just ramping up, talking a lot, getting used to speaking out loud, which again, I said I was a teacher, but it was getting used to being okay with the sound of my own voice while I performed. This is important. People are like, oh, I don't like to hear my voice when I perform. That's fine, but you've got to get used to the way, you got to get used to your own performance. All right. Here's a little tip though. You wanted an exercise. Either take your headphones, all right, they've got to be, covered headphones, or get some earplugs. And if you're using headphones, turn off, unplug them, okay, so that you can't hear anything. And make sure they're super quiet, so you can't hear yourself talk. Or put earplugs in so you can't hear yourself talk. And then narrate. What you will find, this is the craziest thing. I want everybody to try this. What you will find is that you have no trouble breathing. No trouble at all. And the reason is because you're focused on reading the words, not listening to yourself breathe, not wondering where you should breathe. It is one of the neatest and coolest ways to trick your brain. So what you begin to learn is that your brain is what's in your way. Okay, not some default or defect that you have. Okay, it's just consciousness that's in your way, which means it can be changed. All right, and that's a way to trick yourself into being able. Now, I don't recommend you do this as like all the time, but what I'm saying is I want you to feel what it's like to be able to just read without having to worry about your breaths. And then you'll listen back and you'll find that even you'll be like, oh my gosh, I sound like that? That's amazing. It's just me normally reading. It's unbelievable. It's an amazing tactic to try. But moving forward, how to fix that, okay, is you literally continue to read out loud, do these things nonstop. I talked about the 10,000 hours thing, all right, by Gladwell, right, the book. And, the idea about becoming an expert or professional at something takes 10,000 hours of doing something, right? Well, whether, again, like I said yesterday, whether, again, that's true or not, the point is, though, clearly the more you do something, the more you speak out loud, the more you work on your speaking, okay, in a performance atmosphere, whether it's in front of a mic, reading a script, reading hundreds of thousands or millions of words in book form, you're going to get better and feel more comfortable. Plus, reading ahead. Here's another little trick. Start working on reading in chunks. So when you're reading, most of us do this, but I don't know if you consciously do this in order to breathe correctly. The better you get at reading ahead while you are reading, it will allow you to know exactly what's coming, and it will allow you to understand what's trying to be said. There is something to be said for reading the whole piece. Sorry, it's loud outside or something. Sounds like a car revving by. Anyways, to chunk something like that allows you to get the general idea of everything. And because you get the general idea of everything, then you don't have to breathe because you know when the breath should come, or you know the stream of thought. We don't breathe during a stream of thought, if you know it, right? If you notice that, we usually breathe when we're done with that stream of thought. Just like now, I said we're done with that was the end of a stream of thought, so I breathed. And I just breathed right there because now you're listening to me breathing, and then it changes. But when you don't think about it, it takes care of itself. Same example is when an actor is up on stage. When an actor's up on stage, if you've been an actor on stage, you've seen a lot of times actors, especially new actors, they fear about where to put their hands. They're like, what do I do with my hands? They're just here. They're just by my side. I look like a Oscar Mayer wiener, right? What do I do with my hands? Well, the thing is that you're focusing on the wrong thing. So another tactic for you to use is while you're narrating and reading, focus on the script. Focus on the message. Focus on what you're trying to say. Force your mind to focus on the overall idea of the words you're saying, not when you're breathing. And if you do that, you will find that the rest of it takes care of itself. Okay? It's usually a focus problem. 9 times out of 10. 9.9 times. Okay? Hopefully those couple tactics help you. Try them out. Good question. All right, let's see. I was like, hey, we're going to end this quickly. We got some great questions, which I'm okay with as always, but it's funny. Let's see. John says, hey, what's up, Job? B-Dog at 45. Famicom voiceover masterclass and an English voice artist on YouTube with an English accent. Okay, there you go. No question. I made it. All right. B-Dog, I don't know. B-Doggy 45. Once you make a decision, it's already done. Because making the decision is the challenge. Making the decision is your challenge. When you make that decision, you've won. You have won. But you know what I'm talking about, right? Deep down inside, people like me say, hey, you got to make a decision. But you know that making a decision is actually one of the hardest things that we do. But when we make it and we believe it, we could change the world. You have to just make that decision. Make that decision, burn the ships. Well, that sounds like I felt like I needed. I got a paper clip I could drop. I don't have a mic because the only people who don't drop mics when we make a Pointer voiceover artists. We're not going to drop our mics because we know how expensive they are. But I felt like something needed to drop, right? Okay. Elbow cough. Keep these videos up, man. I'm actually going to start with a small mic and my phone. Awesome. Go for it. Go for it. Why not? All right, why not? All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching today. I really appreciate it. Hopefully, this has helped you at least, get some inspiration and to know that, listen, we are in an amazing time. I know it's tough. But I know together we can accomplish anything. And I know you keep pushing forward. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. All right, you guys, have a wonderful week. Talk to you soon. Goodbye.